What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of On the Mic with Michael Flix. Very happy to be back. I'm here with someone that's been on quite a crazy run since, I want to say, last summer. Recent Open Division San Diego CIF Champion Jaden Matingou. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. I'm really excited to have you here, man. I mean, like I said, I've been trying to track you down for a minute, but I guess it's perfect timing now that you guys have won the championship now, so I get to talk to you about everything that's been going on. But yeah, like I said, you've been on quite a run since last summer. So let's take it back to last summer. You know what? Let's go back before then.
Okay.
How long have you been playing basketball? I'll start it that way.
So I started playing basketball in 4th grade. Mm-hmm. I started playing with a club called Bronco Ball up in Rancho Bernardo. Mm-hmm. That was my first club team, and then I moved to play with Sharks with some guys that you might know like Camden, Durand, Cam Marshall. And after there, I went to Game Point, and I've been there since.
Okay. And you say when did you move to Game Point?
I think after my 6th grade year, so like 7th grade AAU season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's funny. That's kind of where I was thinking I wanted to start it off with you talking about kind of when you really been on my radar. Of course, I kind of have a feel for all of San Diego. When you really popped on my radar was a little bit for Creme of the County last summer. Yeah. Or whenever the most recent one was. You know, the COVID is kind of threw all the timing off. But I saw you making a lot of noise. I kept seeing your name pop up on Twitter and on Instagram. You making a lot of noise with Game Point. And then the Creme game happens, and then you win MVP along with your teammate, Durand Dixon.
Yes, sir.
So you've been like dating all the way back to then. Like I said, you've been on quite a crazy run. What was it like winning MVP at the Creme game? Because at this point, Creme is like a real staple in San Diego. So what was it like winning MVP there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun event. Like getting to play against the top competition in the city is just always just a good opportunity. And I think it was just a great experience, and getting to go MVP with my teammate. It was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. You looking forward to playing in the Switch, because that came along with being the MVP? You looking forward to that?
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Getting to play like some older dudes, get ready for the next level. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Has there been any communication about any of that yet, or no?
Not yet. I mean, they reached out to me after I won the Creme event, but nothing too serious yet.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then everything, like I said, Game Point happens, Creme happens. The basketball season starts. What was I don't know if I have a good idea of the names and how everyone plays, but I don't always know exactly what grade everyone was in. So actually starting the season, I don't know why I assumed you were a senior, and I think I thought I was assuming you were the only senior on the team. But then finding out that there's no seniors in the starting lineup and barely any seniors on the team at all, that's got to be really exciting. So what was with a team, like I said, with no seniors though, what was the expectation coming into the season?
I mean, Coach Hop demands maturity of us. We know we're a young group, but there's a lot of pressure being called the #1 team in the city, and he gives us a lot of leeway to be like the kids, but when it gets down to business, we have to be serious. And like you said, we don't have many seniors or seniors that are in the lineup a lot. So it calls upon us the juniors and just the guys who were on varsity the year before to step up into those leadership roles.
What type of a leader are you?
I'm definitely a vocal leader. You can ask my teammates. Not really afraid to tell it how it is, but I think that's what makes us so tight and just better. Saying it how it is.
I love to watch you play and also lead your team because of the way you do it, and it's also I don't know who I was just telling, but it's also interesting to have you here and speaking to you away from the game. Because you're I don't know, maybe you're different with your friends, and this is our first time kind of really speaking to each other. But you seem really soft spoken, and it's such a contrast to who you are off the floor. It's really interesting to see. Where does that because you play with a lot of fire and a lot of intensity. Where does that come from?
I mean, when I play, I love being the villain on the court. I love being in hostile situations. That kind of fuels me. So when we go play against Cathedral, or we play in playoff games or away games, I love those games. Those kind of just fuel me as a player. So that's just kind of how I get it, the competition. I'm a really competitive guy, so whether it's practice or games, I'm always trying to build my own energy so my teammates can feed off of it.
Absolutely. I'm the same way. I compete just the same way. Now, when I was in high school, I wasn't quite the player that you were, to where it's I kind of, I guess, had the game to really back it up. But I was just, I compete the same way. Even though I'm playing it's game night with the friends and we're playing Taboo, I'm the same way, bro. I'm the same way. It's really fun to see. And it's interesting that you say you like to be the villain on the court, because who was I talking to about? Was it JD? I forget who I was talking to about this, but I feel you're you might be the only, but definitely one of few players in San Diego that you how do I describe it? I was trying to think of another word, but you play with cockiness.
Uh-huh.
It's I was gonna say it borders on just confident, but no, it's cockiness too. But you back it up though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I forget. I think it was JD that I was telling. I was like, those are actually my favorite players, like Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, people that are like overly cocky on like when they're competing, but they can back it up though. Because if you super cocky and you're not doing nothing, you just a dog barking. Ain't nobody scared of. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's just a fun way to play. Like, especially when I get into that rhythm, I know like guys like Durand and Lolo, I feel like it's kind of a little bit like me. Like once he gets competitive, I get competitive, and vice versa. So yeah, once I get the switch like turned, it's like the other guys get into it too.
So let me ask you this: who are some of your favorite players to watch?
To watch in the NBA?
Yeah, in the NBA or college. Who are some of your favorite players?
Let's see. In the NBA, my favorite player is Russell Westbrook.
Okay,
I think
makes
I
sense.
get a lot of my edge from him. He's a guy like no matter where he is, he's going. He's a bulldog. Like he's a fighter. So love Russell Westbrook. Also like watching James Harden because James Harden's like such a good scorer and he's not like the most athletic guy on the court. So it kind of just shows like IQ and just knowing how to play the game the right way with your head as long as like with the ball too. So like James Harden.
Okay. What do you think is I mean, of course, like I said, you play with a lot of edge. What do you think is the most dynamic part of your game? And what do you think is like a part of your game that you feel like you're really going to work on coming into next season?
Dynamic part of my game, I feel like I get it done on both sides of the floor. I feel like I'm able to hit shots, get to the basket, but then again, on the other side of the court, I love guarding the best player. That's normally my task when we go into big games. Coach is like, all right, you got this guy, and I'm up for the challenge. And just for something I'm going to work on, it's probably foul trouble. Like talking about guarding the best player and being competitive. Sometimes I get aggressive. I can get into quick foul trouble. So just like conserving like my energy in that way and not being too crazy.
I see. Now with you guys being like the preseason like consensus #1 team in San Diego, and I would imagine coming into the season like it's like the plan is to win CIF and then roll in the state and see what we can do. Is it difficult to stay focused on the next game ahead when you have such lofty goals?
I would say so, yeah, because season can feel really tedious at times, especially like when we came back from Vegas and 6 out of 12 of our guys got COVID. We went on, I think we lost like 2 games at the Torrey tournament because we had half our team. So it did get difficult at times, like going 1 game at a time, but we knew if we stick together, everything we worked for is just going to pay off in the end, which it did.
Now, like I said, you play, I mean, I've said it like a million times since this interview started, but you play with a lot of edge, but from what I noticed, when the playoffs started, it even went to another level. What do you is there anything that you need to pull from to kind of bring that out, or is it just like more of a natural thing?
I think it's just the mentality that it's win or go home. As soon as playoff starts, it doesn't matter if we won all these other games. It doesn't matter for the best team. Lacoste kind of shocked us with that. Like we won off Darius's layup. We won by 1 point, but that just for us means we can't take any game for granted. And yeah, whether we're the #1 team or not, we got a target on our back, and that's it.
Hey, what's it like playing those Cathedral games?
Oh, those are the best. Those are probably my favorite games because it's just like an old school rivalry. Our whole pit pops out, super lively. We got the Cathedral dudes talking smack back to us, so it's a fun environment, definitely.
I want to say that those are probably, I think the one at you guys is, well, actually the one at their game, the one at their house was crazy too. Both of them really fun to be at. Now, how does it compare, the intensity of maybe like a Cathedral game? How does that compare to maybe a playoff or a championship game?
Definitely similar. I mean, it could be like when we play Cathedral, sometimes it's just in the regular season, there could be no stakes, but it feels like a championship game. It feels like everything's on the line. It feels like your school's like dignity's on the line. Like we bring out like 500-600 dudes from our school who come watch us, so we're playing for them too. Like it's not something little.
Now, did it feel, because you guys started off the season playing against Sierra Canyon, and they've one of the best teams in the country, and then you actually ended your season unfortunately losing to them. What was the difference like in intensity level in both of those games? I mean, playing the same team. Yeah,
I mean, both of the games we knew it was going to be hard games, but we always wanted to fight. I think we proved that in that second game. Came back from like a 20-point lead. I mean, we're never going to give up. That's something about us. Like, we're all dogs. Like, all of us, like, have that edge that we were talking about. So, I mean, just the intensity, we bring it in both games because we never know, like, just like teams want to upset us, we want to upset Sierra Canyon, and whether that's state or whether that's our first game of the season in Montgomery, we want to win that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Going into the CIF Championship game, playing against a very, very good San Jacinto team who had been playing very well already, what's kind of the mentality knowing that you've already beat them early on, but also knowing like you guys are a different team, but they're a different team? Like, what's that like?
It's kind of like what I said earlier, the fact that it doesn't matter what we did earlier, and it's now win or go home. And that's the biggest game of our season for us. And that really just comes down to that game. Nothing else matters. Like, we throw everything else out the window. Everything else we did doesn't matter unless we win this game. And that's kind of how we were all thinking leading up to it and in the locker room before. It's like none of it matters unless we prove ourselves right now.
Did it feel like this season you guys had like a little thing going on with them? Or is that just me?
I mean,
if it's just me, keep it real with me.
Nah, I think you're right. Like, on our side, it felt like it didn't, like, we try to keep the noise out, but I feel like there was kind of like a narrative, like their coach is very vocal, like they're trying to like talk on Twitter and stuff, trying to call us out. I mean, it's like whatever, like we proved it on the court, but I think you're right. There was like kind of like we kind of had like maybe a little rivalry started there, especially because that was Durand's old school.
For sure, I didn't. And you know what? When I thought that right now, I didn't even think about that dynamic. But that makes perfect sense. I didn't even see the Twitter stuff. Honestly, I did not. I didn't see the Twitter stuff. Well,
so like we'd win a game, and we tweeted the score some, and he would come under in like the comments and put like some eyes emojis, just like some little funny stuff. Nothing serious, but yeah.
Got you. Okay, I love it. And then, so what's it like? Like final buzzer goes off, you guys win the CIF championship. What's that like?
Man, that's an incredible feeling because all the hours we put in since honestly the summer, it just all comes and pays off in the end. So that's my first CIF championship, and I was so glad to be able to experience it with those guys. And the pit too is just unreal feeling. Like almost brought to tears. Like I laid down on the floor for a second because it's a lot of emotions at once. Yeah.
I like that. Now, of course, I've been talking about your rebounding ability all season. Yeah. What does is that? I mean, you said Russell Westbrook's one of your favorite players. Is that where does your rebounding, like, is that something that like you consciously think like I want to be a rebounding guard, or is that just something that like it naturally came?
Yeah. So we are like a smaller lineup. Like we don't have any like 6'8", 6'9" guys in our lineup. So Coach Hop calls on us a lot to crash the boards, and I'm one of the guys he looks to for that. And I'm pretty athletic. Like I feel like I'm a good jumper. So when it comes to like shots, I always follow my teammates' shots, and that's how I get a lot of my putbacks. I feel like
it's kind of funny to see like kind of like the evolution of like your tips, like and one tips throughout the season, and it's something that like I just happened to pick up on because the first game of the season, the one you got against San Jacinto at Montgomery, I remember thinking like when you grabbed it, I remember thinking when you filmed it, like because you kind of got hit in your waist, I remember thinking like he was still on the way up, he could have dunked that.
Yeah.
And I remember even showing my brother when I was editing, I was like, he could have dunked that. And then like as the season goes, and it keeps saying you got like 2 or 3, I think 2 or 3 by the time the season, and you got like 2 or 3 tip dunks. I love watching like rebounding guys. Obviously, like me, I played basketball and I was a smaller guy, so it's always fun to watch like the little guy like go in there and like I guess like win against the big guy for the rebound. You know what I mean? I love watching you play. I love watching you play, period. But just like the way you rebound is because it's not like of course you get in there and box out like everyone else does, but a lot of times it's like you don't even you just fly. Yeah, you just like fly in there and get it. It's really exciting to watch. How has anyone like outside of me been calling you board man at all?
My teammates, they got it from you.
Oh, okay.
My dad does it too. Like he likes to mess around and call me board man.
Nice. So, I love it. I love it. We're gonna keep that going too. Okay. And you know what? It's funny. At Cathedral, because I like to stand like almost like right underneath the basket. Yeah. And the security, I don't know who he was, but he came and like made me move. And while I was moving, like I forget what happened. He kind of like threw me off. I think I was switching batteries. And you got the tip at Cathedral, and I missed it. And I remember telling VRD, I was like, man, did you get it? It's like, yeah, I got it. And I was mad because I was actually gonna stop like as soon as the game ended, not even like walk out of the gym, like put it on Instagram right that moment. But I missed it. I was really upset. But anyway, it happens. How's your college interest looking right now? How's that going?
I'm good. I'm talking to a lot of schools. I've been on 3 unofficial visits. I've been to UCSD, Princeton, and Columbia on the East Coast, and I plan to go to Point Loma soon. Check that out.
Nice. Do you have like a preference for like an area, like a state, or like a part of the country that you wanna play, or does that not matter?
Preferably on one of the coasts. Like I love the West Coast, and I think if I were to go somewhere else, it'd probably be on the East Coast. And I don't know about middle of the country. I'm not really like a fan of all of that.
I hear you. That's what's up. No, I already asked that. I think I got through. Oh, no. This is one thing. I guess it's not really a question. One thing I wanted to tell you. So I post the. I think I posted one of the Boardman clips. I think the one from Mission Bay. And then I think when you guys played at San Diego, I posted the clip of Jurian's dunk.
Yeah.
And that was when I asked if Jurian was the best player in San Diego. And I don't know if it was just. I think your dad left a comment and he DM'd me and was like, "No, it's Jurian for sure."
Yeah.
No, it was before the San Diego game, so it wasn't that. But anyway, and then so after the San Diego game at San Diego, you guys win, and I'm like walking, like my back is turned to the crowd, and I'm walking to my backpack, and I hear like footsteps like running at me, and I don't like turn all the way around, but I just like turn like slow, and like Mike, and I like tell him like whoa, and I had never met him before. Of course, I've seen him at games, and I assume he's a parent, but I don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? I just see him, he's a big dude. I just see him running. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? And he just comes. He was just showing love. Just came and like said what's up. Gave me some daffy. He's like, it's Jurian, right? It's Jurian, right? But it was just a funny moment. He was like, yeah, I'm Jaden's dad. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, who is this dude running at me right
he's
now?
He's a big fan. Whenever you drop videos, he's always telling me, he's like, hey, Mike with them flicks just dropped. Yeah.
I like your dad. He shows a lot of love. I appreciate your dad. You know, everybody at your school, everybody showed me a lot of love this season. I really, really, really appreciate that. It made me feel really good. Because, you know, for a long time, I guess it ain't really got nothing to do with the interview, but I've been doing what I do for a long time, you know what I mean? And people have always shown love, but now it's really like on a different level now, which I really, really appreciate. And I kind of feel like your school was like kind of the start of that. Yeah. I don't know if it's because like you know the pit is so loud, or because you guys were the #1 team this year. I don't know what it was, but I feel like your school was like really the start. I really, really appreciate St. Augustine for that. Yeah, for sure. Who are some of your favorite players other than Russell Westbrook? Who do you like to watch?
Let's see. I like to watch Kyrie. Kyrie always puts on a show. Like his dribbling is so crazy. Like he always makes guys look stupid. Like guys that like they're in the league for a reason, but he always makes people look silly on defense. Another guy I like to watch is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant just scores so effortlessly. It's like a 7-foot guard. So yeah, he's really fun to watch too.
I see. And kind of, I guess it's like more of a different question. Away from the game, like what do you do to unwind? Because, you know, basketball, especially when you're playing year-round, it can be a lot of a grind, you know, with trying to stay focused on your goals. What do you do to kind of unwind away from basketball?
I hang out with my teammates a lot. Like that, I think that's something that makes us such a close group. Because outside of practices, outside of games, we hang out on weekends, after school, stuff like that. But also I like to play video games, like watch Netflix, like just chill stuff.
What are you watching right now?
On Netflix?
Or just at all?
I'm watching Shameless on Netflix. I'm watching Attack on Titan when that drops on Sundays. So, yeah.
That's it. You watching Bel Air at all on Peacock?
I'm not.
I've been trying to tell everybody about Bel Air. Show is dope. It's some. I guess maybe you should recommend it to high school kids. There's some crazy stuff going on in that show. But I guess Euphoria is the same. Euphoria is the same.
I watched that.
Okay, so yeah, if you watch Euphoria, you can definitely watch Bel Air. Bel Air is dope. Okay. Bel Air is dope for sure. Who do you got as the GOAT? Basketball.
As a GOAT? I got LeBron.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think he's just proved it with his longevity. I feel like you put anybody else in his shoes, they wouldn't be able to sustain the greatness he has for as long he has and continuing to do.
Makes sense. Oh, this is I'm glad I remember this one. If you're putting together, and you can't say you're the St. Augustine starting five. You can't say that. Putting together your San Diego starting five. You almost seem like, dang, I don't want him to ask me this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Yeah. Your San Diego starting five. Who you got?
Seniors this year?
Anybody.
Okay. So I would probably go Devin Arlington at the 1, Game Point fan. I'll go me at the 2. I would probably go Jaden LaBelle at the 3. I would go, forget his name, but the big from San Jacinto with the curly hair. It starts with M?
22?
Yeah. I'll go him at the 4. And then Otto from Torrey Pines at the 5.
Nice. I like that. That's a good 5. No Jurian, huh?
I thought you said I can't do my team.
I said, see, I didn't. I said you can't just say the St. Augustine starting 5.
It would be that 5 though.
Okay, I ain't mad at you. Yeah. I do like the 5 you put in there. I just wanted to make.
Yeah, if I had to stay outside of Saints, then it would be those.
Okay, I got you. With all due respect, see, I was about to say maybe I should stop asking that question, because there's been a few times I asked that question. People are like, man, you put me in a tough spot, but it's all fun. People don't take it too personal. It's all fun. I think that was all the questions I have for you today, man. Like I said, I've been trying to track you down for a minute. I appreciate you stopping by the show and talking to me for a minute, man. My pleasure, bro. Appreciate you.
Sir.
It's been another episode of On the Mic with Michael Flix. I appreciate you guys tapping in. Until next time, take care.